Brandon, the Auburn offense certainly had a very rough showing against Georgia. Only 13 points scored, one of which was a late field goal very late in the game. Really didn't stand much of a chance from the second half on in particular. The running game was effective, but they abandoned it late, inexplicably. The passing game with one of the worst performances we've ever seen from a Gus Malzahn coach team.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. 2 of the top 8 or worst 8 offensive performances have occurred this season, and for Gus Malzahn, his 10 seasons as a college football coach. There was no rhyme or reason, it seemed like, when Sean White was coming in and Jeremy Johnson was coming out. Jeremy Johnson came in for a 3rd down play for a designed run on 3rd and 3, hesitated, and lost 7 yards. Sean White comes in for a possession, nothing happens. They bring him back in for the very next possession, throws 3 straight incomplete passes toward Ricardo Lewis, had to throw a couple of them away because they felt like they saw something, and obviously there was nothing there to be had. He was covered. A lot of this stuff just didn't make sense. And now Jeremy Pruitt, Georgia's defensive coordinator, is 3-0 against Gus Malzahn's coached offense.
And you mentioned there are going to be things that you see in the game that you want to try and exploit. Can't knock them for trying to pass a little bit. However, what you saw, what I saw, and what 87,000+ people saw was Javon Robinson run very effectively through the first 3 quarters and then basically disappear.
He was averaging almost 10 yards per carry at one point at a halftime. He gets 4 carries in the second half, completely disappears. I understand the need to mix and match with Peyton Barber to rest some legs.
Yeah, that's fine.
Similar to what they did at A&M, where they set him for like 8 minutes. And I was even then wondering, okay, things aren't really working here. Where's Javon? Javon gives you a spark because the 2 longest runs yesterday were Javon Robinson, and that's what sparked the offense. If you're wanting things to get going, why are you not playing your best running back on the field in the second half? And it also goes back to the thinking of Kerryon Johnson earlier this season. You're playing him in the first half, and he's doing very well in the Wildcat. Then the second half, it disappears. It's
all in favor of passing game. It was ineffective.
Yes.
And clearly ineffective.
Yeah, I'm beginning to believe, and we've discussed this, that the starting quarterback for the 2016 Auburn Tigers is not on this campus right now. This offense has been atrocious at times. The Georgia game, while it rivals the LSU game in some of the ineptness, this one I think rivals it and makes it worse because of, one, some of the play calling and the decisions, especially with Javon Robinson sitting on the bench.
And because of the caliber of opponent involved. Not disrespect to Georgia, but LSU at that time we knew was going to end up being a very good team. Now this past couple of weeks has struggled. Georgia was a team that was struggling, came in off a big win over Kentucky, such as it was, and now could end nicely. But this was a Georgia team that was and still sort of is in disarray.
Yep.